welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing another 1 palette 5 looks video. This one is going to be a little different than normal because try as I might, I couldn't really find like 5 different examples of looks for this palette, so I found a little bit of inspiration here and there on the internet, but ultimately I am going at this by myself. So the other thing that's like a little different is the past ones I polled you guys a bit and asked which ones you wanted to see me use. I also just started pulling them out of my own collection and saying I want to do that one, I want to do that one. But Mona extended how I like, and I mean like a friendly challenge, like I don't mean like she challenged me and we're at war, but like she extended me a little challenge because if you guys saw my I broke my no buy haul video, which I will link in the cards and also in the description down below if you want to see that, as well as a look that I have already done using a lot of those products, then you will know that I got the Melt, I want to put it like this, like a half my face thing. Anyway, you will know that I got the Melt Cosmetics AMOR ETERNO VIDA palette. I did not get the Muerte palette because even though blue is my favorite color, it is not my favorite when it comes to eyeshadows. So this is the palette here. It has 10 different shades in it. I personally love the color story of this palette. I think it's a lot of fun, but she was saying that she really was struggling at getting good pigmentation out of them. She said they didn't swatch very well, and to be completely honest with you guys, I never swatched them on like my arm or anything like that. I just sort of got into the palette and started using it. So today I'm going to be using this palette to try and create 5 different looks. I will easily get through all of the colors. It's not really going to be a challenge because there are only 10 colors. So we're gonna kind of go from the most basic of looks, like just like a really, really simple, you know, I've kind of done a small bit of pre-planning for this. We're gonna go from the most simple, like neutral brown, classic, like easy to do eye, and we're gonna get into some greens, some reds, obviously. We're just gonna get into this right away. So I'm gonna go away and try and attempt to create a look that I think is good enough to show you guys, and we will be back shortly with look number 1. All right, you guys, I'm back with look number 1. Honestly, this is pretty much like I feel like of like all these videos that I've done, this is like the most tame, like just straight down the middle of the road, like neutral kind of everyday eye that I've done. There's no shimmer to it. It's completely matte and it's super easy. So let's get right into it, shall we? So first things first, we're going to go into the color Atoll. I don't know, it's right down the middle on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to start blending that. Get a little closer. Blending that all into the crease. Really, really working that color in. This is probably what took me the most time, was really getting, you know, a nice blended base. Speaking of bases, I didn't mention it because it always just takes up extra time in the video. For an eyeshadow base, we are using MAC Painterly Paint Pot as per usual, and I have a combination of my KVD Beauty Tattoo Liner in Mad Max Brown and also my Fenty Flyliner in Cause I'm Black, because those are the two, I'm a dirty liar, I was gonna say those are the only 2 eyeliners I have that aren't waterproof. This one is waterproof. That might bite me in the ass later, but the Fenty Flyliner is not a waterproof liner. It's just at least it doesn't say it is, it just says it's a Longwear liner. So we're going with that. So the next color we're going to be digging into is Agua Ardiente. And I just got that on a slightly, ooh, this is not the next color I dug into. Backtrack. Alrighty, so the next color actually that I was supposed to get into is Pan Dolce. I ended up digging up into this orange. I was going to just stick to all the colors in the middle, but I wanted a little bit more warmth to this. So that color, I'm not laying it quite as high as the first color, but it is certainly going all through the crease. Just like that. Now, we can dig into the Agua Ardiente color, which is kind of like a cross, I feel, between like an olivey green and a brown. It's a really interesting kind of color. So that I just took lower in the crease, not quite as into the inner corner, just really working to create some shade, some interest. And I really like that. I also did take that first color, the Atolle color, and I brushed that underneath a little bit. Just like that, just to kind of make it a little more cohesive, really bring it down. And then I also took a tiny, tiny bit of this color near the outer corner and brought that down as well, but not quite as far as the other one. We're gonna use chocolate and kind of deepen up that outer corner and that crease. I'm just using a pencil brush to do that because I want this to be very precise. I don't want it getting too far away from me. It was just to add a little bit more deepness. I've also got a clean blending brush that I use to really, really get all those colors moving nicely together. Really just, I went a little too deep in the chocolate on this one, like a little too far into my eye. I was just talking about control and then I kind of lost control for a minute. I got distracted by what I was talking about, but that's okay. This look is so easy. Like I said, this is probably the most standard. I'm just going to put a little more over here just so that they actually are even, because that's always my biggest thing that I always say is that my eyes are never even at the end of this. But I wanted to do just a really, really easy look that you could wear really anytime. So I'm going to go into this Papal Pecado, this like bright green, take a little bit of that just for some interest and brush it on the lower lash line. You don't have to do this. You could also do this with, you know, really any color would work. You could do it with like a nice turquoise liner. A purple would look really pretty. You could carry a little bit more of that orange underneath. I went with green because that's what's in the palette we have. And then I'm using that brown liner and just giving myself a really, really light bit of the brown, just like that. And I'm trying to keep it pretty close to the lash line just because, like I said, this look is just, it's nothing, it's not crazy. It's not anything insane. It's just, you know, a really easy look that I feel like 90% of us, you know, would be happy to throw on really quickly before going somewhere. Like, it's nothing crazy. It doesn't take, I mean, I can do it, so it really doesn't take that much talent to do. Just something really, really nice and easy. So that is it for look number one. Really, really neutral, really simple. Now is when we're going to get into all of the fun colors. I kind of wanted to make sure that I knocked the center portion out of the way as early as possible because those are good colors for lying in base, but some of those brighter, funner colors are going to make these looks really, really pop. So I hope you guys enjoyed look number one. I'll be right back with look number two. All right, I am back. This is going to be look number two, and I actually am pretty into it. It's playing more, I always leave that light on and it gives like a weird cast, but like I do, just a quick segue, I do my makeup like, I don't want to turn you guys, but I kind of want to turn you guys. Screw it. I do my makeup over here at the desk with like a desk lamp shining, so that, I don't know, just so that I can sit and have it on the table and stuff like that. But I really like the way that this turns out. I used basically like this half of the palette. I wanted to, this was my plan all along, was to hammer out the three middle colors, those neutral tones, get a really good neutral eye going, then stick to this end, get a really nice green yellow tone going. Next up, I'm probably gonna hit that end and do a similar thing. And then we're gonna try and combine it all and see what we get. So let's just get into it right away. We're gonna go with Amor Eterno, which is the name of the palette. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous, bright yellow. And I basically put that nice and high on my crease. Sorry, I didn't realize that was in the way. But I didn't stop there because I also went all the way underneath as well. This whole look was almost like an inversion on what I would normally do. And what I would normally do is I would do darkness on the outer corner and kind of slightly go lighter into the inner corner, end up with a really light like in here, but I did it in a circle around my eye, kind of coming inwards. So different for me for sure, but like I said, I actually am like super stoked with how it turned out. I think it looks kind of cool, kind of different. I don't know. Then I went in with Papal Picado. That's that lime green that's like right next to it. And with that, I went in the same circular motion, but not quite so high. Because I wanted like a little yellow peeking out and then a little bit of that lime green peeking out. Then some of the browns peeking out. And then we just topped the whole thing off with that beautiful, beautiful green glitter, which when we get to it was a bit of a struggle. I was surprised because in the Smoke Sessions palette, those shimmers were, just put a bit underneath my eye as well here. Those shimmers were really, really easy to work with, and I actually found that this one was a little like stiff almost. It was kind of weird. Next, we're gonna go into Agua Ardiente. I should really find out. It's funny, I took Spanish for like 2 years in high school. I don't know what any of this stuff means. I took French too, and trust me, my French is horrible. So this one, again, kind of blending into those other colors, but a little deeper into the crease. A little more focused on the lid itself. And again, right up at the lash line underneath. I also took Latin and Ancient Greek in university, and how useful is that? It's not useful. It's not useful at all. Real quickly here, I can see that I kind of like fudged right there, so I'm gonna put in some more yellow. Because I want that yellow to really, I can tell already that this eye is gonna have gone much better. I think I'm speeding up my process because when I do it on my own, I'm just sort of sitting here relaxing doing it, and then I come on here and I'm like, do it as quick as possible because you have to fit 5 looks into one video and nobody wants to watch a 40-minute video. So then I went into that chocolate color, and with a really tiny pencil brush, I went right deep into my crease and just sort of drew, I did it again, so sorry you guys, like an arch. And then I put a little bit on the lower lash line, just a little bit, not too much, you don't want it too dark. So then the Serape color, Serape, not Serape, I tried to do it with a brush, it did not work. So I picked it up on my finger, and this took some serious effort. You need to really load up on this. I don't know if it would work better if I got some Fix Plus involved or what, but this is not a super smooth shimmer. It is tugging. It is giving me some issue. Looks beautiful on my finger, but it's not translating onto the lid quite like I wanted to, because I do want it to cover the entirety of my eyelid up until my crease. I wanted that green to really, really stand out. And then I picked up just a little bit of that yellow color and popped that in the inner corner just to finish it off. So this time instead, I gotta get this green off my finger. So this time, instead of using the brown liner, I decided to use a black liner, but I honestly think that the brown would have looked good as well. Like, I think either would have been fine. I think it's really what you're trying to go for. And again, because I like to keep the liner right close to my lash line, you can't, I honestly don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between a brown or a black. It would just sort of be there. So that is look number 2. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really cool. Again, not something I would have done like every day, but that is the beauty of these videos, is that I am getting to come up with, especially in this case where I'm actually just doing it on my own. I'm not relying on following like step-by-step tutorials that other people have done. I'm just sort of doing it on my own time for my own fun. I'm really getting to see A, what I'm capable of, and B, what a palette can really do, how versatile it can be, and C, I'm getting to try new looks that I wouldn't normally try, but that I'm actually pleasantly surprised by. So I hope you guys enjoyed look number 2. Stay tuned. I'm going to be right back with look number 3. Alrighty, you guys, I am back with look number 3. And you might not know this, but I've actually been gone a really, really long time because I had like this vision in my head to get like a really cool halo eye going, and it bombed completely. So I had to wipe off and kind of redo a look. Honestly, I'm not super stoked on the way that it turned out, just because I ended up just doing the thing that I always do, which I've been trying to avoid doing. Like, I always do the, okay, put your base crease color in, like your lightest color everywhere, and then a slightly darker color, and then a slightly darker one in the outer corner, and then a shimmer, and then an inner corner highlight. And I was trying not to do that because, I mean, I could do that with every single color in here and get 3 different colored looks, but realistically they would be the same look. And I was trying not to do that, but that's where I ended up going for this because the halo eye failed, and I don't know. So the first color we're gonna dig into is Soul. It's like this kind of like orangey yellow color, and just putting that all over I always zoom you guys out and I don't pay attention, and then I never zoom you back in. All in the crease, on the lid, and swipe it underneath as well. Like that. Nice and easy. Slightly smaller brush, we're gonna go into Pan Dolce. The real, like it's like a true orange. Take that color and again in the crease. Now these colors are really pigmented and they do blend really, really nicely together. I've been super impressed with the quality during this, like, for me this time I'm actually kind of like trying out the palette too, like really trying it for the first time. Like all the other palettes, sorry, I'm also just smoking that underneath a bit. All the other palettes that I've had, like I've had for a while, so even though I might not have used every color, I already kind of knew how they performed. Going into the Mexicana color, it's that super, super like red right at the end. I got really nervous turning that upside down. I've been having really bad luck with palettes and like stuff lately. This is like a really, really pigmented red. So put some on and then blend it out, and then put some on and then blend it out. Just kind of dotting it all along the bottom as well, just because it is so pigmented. Like I don't want to get that red absolutely everywhere. This kind of ended up being like a fiery kind of look, which I'm not mad at. Like I'm not, it didn't go where I wanted it to go, which is unfortunate. Then we're gonna go into Alegria. I don't know. Somebody give me a video that teaches me how to say all these words properly. I've always thought about like trying to pick, especially because we go down to Punta Cana so often. I mean, obviously, like it's kind of a bummer because with all like this, you know, Ontario's still in a state of emergency. I'm just going into AMOR ETERNO again, that yellow color into my inner corner. I decided to include a little bit of that just to really make it super fiery. Anyway, like I said, with everything going on with the pandemic in the world, and yes, it's calming down a little bit, as in like the cases aren't as bad, but I think everybody is kind of waiting on the second wave that like all of the experts have been saying is coming. So like even though like I know we're all getting sick of it, I know everybody wants to go out and we want, you know, life to go back to normal, but honestly, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a while personally. I don't think, and I mean, I can only speak for, you know, Canada and no, I can't even speak for Canada and Ontario. I can just speak from my experience with this whole thing, in that I'm still quite nervous about everything reopening because I don't think, I just don't want it rushed, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to be going back through this whole thing. And yeah, it sucks that we can't do anything. And where this all stemmed from is, like, Tom and I normally go to Punta Cana at least once, normally twice a year. We were gonna go in March, and I think we were supposed to fly out on, like, the 23rd, and Ontario went into a state of emergency on, like, the 21st. It was, like, only a couple days difference, so we couldn't go. So we were also planning on going in August for a couple of weeks. We were going to do a 2-week stint. We met some people at the resort we were on that live in the UK, and they were going for the same week of time. So we were really excited we were going to get to see them again, because it's too hard for us to get either place. It's kind of best for us to meet somewhere like that. And at this point, I just don't see it happening. I'm pretty sure, you know, everybody's going to have like a summer at home. If you have like a pool or a cottage, like that would be awesome. But I'm sorry, I got off on such a tangent talking about this, but like I said, it stemmed from me needing to pick up Spanish because I go to Punta Cana so much. So this is it for look number 3. It's not my favorite look. It's not my least favorite look. It's kind of fiery. I kind of like it. I'm normally not a big fan of like reds on my eyes. I normally think that they kind of make me look a little bit like vampire-ish, like a little, I don't know what it is, if it's just me, but like whenever I have red around or like on my eyes, I'm like, ooh, do they look bloodshot? Do I look really tired? I actually don't hate this that much because that red has a little bit more of an orange tone to it than like a true blue red. So yeah, that's it for look number 3. Now we're gonna get into a fun point where we're going to kind of try and combine some of the colors into each other and sort of see what we can do. Now, I have this like super kind of interesting idea. So I'm going to save the one that I'm more confident in for last, because at least then I can end on a high. But I have like this idea of like something watermelon-y. Somebody wish me luck. We're going on to look number 4. All right, so I'm back with look number 4. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is not where I saw this going at all. But again, I don't know what it is about this palette, but like, I think that these are like my colors. Like I'm super, oh gosh, nothing happened. Don't worry about it. Yeah, what? These are like, I've been super into greens lately. I've really been loving that, but these greens are very, very unique because they're like neon-y, I guess, and then that bright yellow that's kind of like a greeny yellow. And then you've got the oranges, and oranges are always a safe play. But again, this red is just something really special because it's like an orangey red. And in a lot of palettes, like if I had, I don't want to get it out right now, but like if I got out my Jawbreaker palette, that palette has like a really like beautiful red. But I find that in palettes, you either get like those true blue reds that are just like a little, they're red, they're real reds, or you get like a burgundy red. I don't know about you guys, but like this to me pulls more orange, and it really works for this palette. So let us get straight into it. So first things first, gonna go into AMOR ETERNO. That is that yellowy color. And again, all in the, oopsies. Keep it on your eye, people. Don't go on your face like I did. All in the crease. Like this. Yes. Lovely. Then we're gonna go into Papel Picado. That's that lime greenish kind of color. And in the crease again, not as high as the yellow, not as far into the inner corner as the yellow. This is like my old standard, just not going like necessarily lightest to darkest on the outside like we did in this case, but also just following colors to make it really interesting. Bit of green in there. Then we're gonna take some of that Mexicana red and into, oh god, it's never this pigmented when I do it on the other eye. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Am I picking up too much? It's all over my leg now, but that's fine because, you know, my color switch is 2 feet to that side of me. Why would I grab that? So just again into the crease, blending back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, taking a little bit of that red underneath. Just right there in the outer corner. Then taking a bit of the Pan Dulce color, that's that orange, and again getting some of that underneath. Don't think I got enough red. There we go. Oh, just poke myself in the eye. And then after the orange, I went back into that lime green color and just kind of put that in the rest of the way. Okay. Then we're going to go into Alegria, which is that beautiful shimmery reddy orange kind of color, and that covered majority of the lid. Now this one goes on, I would say, much better than the green, which is why I kind of made that decision. Then I'm going to try, pick up some of that green. And that's gonna go, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is, but like it's so hard packed, and the more you push on it, like the harder it gets to use. If anybody else has this palette and is also experiencing that issue, please let me know that it's not just me. And then again with some yellow. That's pretty much it. So just a liner. For this, I went back to the brown liner because I don't know why. Just wanted to do something a little different. And it's like the smallest change you could possibly make to like a normal makeup routine. It doesn't make the biggest difference, but it somehow just like softens it up, just like the smallest amount. You still get that beautiful line, you're still really shaping your eye, but at the same time it's not as harsh as like a black line. I used to be, and I should really get back into it, I used to be a really big fan of colored mascaras. Particularly I used to have a green mascara that I used to just love, and it was like a dark green, so like it was the most subtle bit of color. So even if you did like a really, really neutral eye or something like that and then just popped like a subtle kind of a colored mascara, just adds a bit of interest. But anyway, for the sake of this, this is the look we ended up with. Once again, this eye is different than this eye. What can you do? I'm okay with look number 4. I think it could have gone better. I think it could have gone worse, but it is nice. So now we are going to get into look number 5, which this is the only one that I saw a picture online and I really wanted to try and replicate it. I don't have any directions for how to replicate it, but I'm gonna try it and I'll show you the picture when I get back and we'll see how well I did. All right, you guys, I'm back with look number 5. This is the final look and it actually turned out more or less exactly how I had hoped it would. Pretty darn close to the picture, if I do say so myself. I'll just show you. So this was, can you guys see that? I'm hoping my ring light's not gonna be a bitch right now. That was their look. That is my look. Obviously eye shape being different and all of that fun stuff. I didn't do that bad of a job. I got a lot of the same colors going. The real challenge is, can I do it again on the other eye? Let's see. So the first thing that I picked up was AMOR ETERNO. That is that bright yellow again. And that I just kind of worked into the inner crease, into the tear duct for sure. And I really just built this up. You can go a little bit over this way if you want to. But 'tis not necessary, just building it up in the crease. And I mean, eventually I did go in again with this color and built it up some more. So, you know, you can always go back and add more if required. So then I went into Soul. Now it said that, I think that whoever did that look, sorry, this is just going in the high crease. So it's not going in my crease. It's just kind of going higher than that. The person who did this look, I'm like 90% sure had both the palettes, because I ended up finding I don't want to say a tutorial, but like a little posting. I will link it in the description below on Temptalia, that basically said like I used this color here, this color here, this color here, and there were a couple colors that they mentioned that are not in this palette, so I can only assume that they're in the other one. All right, so the next color we're gonna take, and this is where I started to get slightly nervous, was we're gonna go into Mexicana, which is that red. I'm gonna take off a bit of the excess just because I want a little more control, and this is going to go about 2/3 of the way into the crease and a little bit outside, and then I'm just adding a little bit more at a time. Do you see what I mean? Like, this stuff is so freaking pigmented, this red, that holy crap. Oh no, that looks pretty much the same, so that's fine. It's so pigmented that like a little really goes a long way, so it is really good to have something like a color switch or like a towel that you don't care about, or you could pull Sam and use your leg like I did. And then I'm just gonna kind of take that same one we are using for that yellow and blend in towards that red just a bit. So you guys can see you've got some of that orange over top, a ton of that red here. So then I took another fine brush and went into chocolate. It's that dark brown, and this is gonna get kind of like buried into the crease here. So really, really push it into the socket and just gently, you know, let the brush do the work. Because I want some of that darkness, some of that richness, and I just patted it a little bit here also, to take away a little bit from that red, because that red you guys saw was a lot. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. There's a lot more brown here than there is here, so we're going to go in again, if I can find the brush, with some red. And just really layer it, because I got a little happy on the brown, I think. But that red is so pigmented that it'll just cover it up again like that. So the next color that I went in with is Papal Picado. That is that bright, bright green, and that kind of goes on the inner part of your lid. So it's kind of going to transition that really pretty yellow into some of that green shimmer that I've got going on. Just like that. So now we get to go in with that green Serape shimmer again. This color is like so difficult, and I really don't get why. Like, it's definitely a different texture than the Alegria or whatever that orangey one is. And I tried to like scrape a layer off of the top of it and see if it made it any better, and it's just being difficult. So I am putting this pretty much all the way, I'm like covering my face, I'm so sorry, out to my outer corner. And then we're going to take some of that Agua Ardiente color and just sort of tap over it a little bit in the outer corner just to take it down a notch. Just like this. This one looks a lot more blended nicely. Like this one, there's such a harsh line between where that yellow and the other color are, whatever, the red is. But that's okay. So then I went in with a really tiny pencil brush and just a bit of that chocolate and just took it down here. Just a small amount, kind of making it like a liner almost. Then I went into the Alegria, which is that beautiful, beautiful orangey shimmer. And I put that all underneath. Just to really tie the look together. So I'm going to put a liner on. Again, this is the kind of a look that could easily have a black or a brown liner. I think just the colors in this palette in general could go either way. Like, black is safe. It goes with every kind of a look. Brown doesn't always look ideal, but because of the color scheme in this palette, it's definitely safe to play it brown as well if that was the way you wanted to go. So, you know, the world is your oyster. Do whatever. And a lot of people, I didn't have a brown liner for a really long time, and you might be like that too. Maybe you don't have one. So that is look number 5. And I'm really happy with it. I think it looks kind of cool. I think it reminds me a lot of like the leaves in the fall, especially like, I don't know how it is where everybody else lives, but in Canada, and I would think the same of the northern United States, these are very, very like fall colors, like trees and the leaves turning. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. So that is that. So was I able to get 5 looks out of this palette? Yeah, I think I was. I think I did an okay job. I think I have realized that this color, although absolutely gorgeous, is a pain in the butt to work with. It definitely takes a lot of time. It's very like, it's like a hard packed glittery shade, which I prefer a like soft packed one that are just very like easy to get going. Like, I didn't swatch this palette. I didn't see the point, but like, so you pick it up on your finger and it's like that, and then like, oh, well, I mean, that kind of worked, but I mean, I also, you know, you can push a lot harder on your hand to get pigmentation than you can on your eyelid without damaging your eye or like really hurting yourself. But I don't know, I think that this all worked out well. I was happy to get to do it, especially with a newer palette, because I got to really see what it could do. Mona, I hope that I met your challenge and that I think I was able to get 5 looks out of it, and I was pretty happy with all of them. I think they were all very wearable, very fun, and I'm really happy with it. I've really been loving Melt Cosmetics lately. I think they're a great brand. The eyeshadows are awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If anybody else has another palette they would like me to do and would like to extend that challenge to me, this was a ton of fun, and it makes it really easy for me when you guys pick what kind of videos I do. It just takes the thought process out of it for me. So if you want to do that, I would appreciate it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.